The objective of the organization, We the World, is to facilitate cooperation on a global scale amongst groups and individuals dedicated to implementing solutions to the many challenges we face on the planet at this time.
Welcome to the 11 Days of Global Unity Summit 2023. My name is Jana Larson, and I am coordinator of the Economic Justice Campaign for We the World, as well as filling many other roles for We the World. Today, I'm excited that we will be joined by Heidi Little and Raheen Fatima. For the full 11-day schedule, you can register for free by going to we.net. Then you can participate in the after panel public discussions and see replays of the recordings. There, you can also make a contribution to us to support We the World by going to we.net. Now let's bring in my co-host, Rick Ulfik. Rick Ulfik is the founder of We the World at we.net and the co-creator of 11 Days of Global Unity. Welcome to the broadcast, Rick Ulfik.
It's so great to be with you, Jana, and welcome to everyone who is joining us now for this 11 Days of Global Unity Summit. This is, for us, it's a really important discussion of children and youth for this 11 Days of Global Unity Summit. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Heidi Little and Raheen Fatima, and I'll bring them up now. There we go. Heidi Little is an activist, recording artist, and educator. She launched International Children's Month and the Center for Advancement in Social Emotional Learning. She coordinates the Children and Youth Campaign for We the World, and she is a highly recognized singer, guitarist, songwriter, and music producer. Welcome to the broadcast, Heidi Little.
Wow, thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. It's nice to see everybody today, and thank you to everyone who's going to join us for this fantastic moments together.
Yes.
Yay.
And
for having me.
Raheen Fatima is 16 years old from Pakistan. She is an entrepreneur, podcaster, interviewer, and an activist. And I happen to know this, she has been a stand-up comic and a theatrical producer as well. Welcome to the broadcast, Raheen Fatima. Raheen Fatima, so I could get that right. So Heidi, can you please set up our roundtable discussion? Maybe you can both address empowerment of young people, youth activism, and the future of humanity.
Wow. Well, I can sure try. Okay, so we've been working long and hard for a long time as humanity on Mother Earth to bring consciousness and grace to the table. I have the privilege of working with icons who made Woodstock, people who documented various aspects of our growth as a community, a global community, with photography and movies and radio and music. And the common theme is always love. And the common theme of what actually helps transform and transcend pain and suffering is creativity and music and art and people coming together and having conversations about what's going on. And it seems to me that the hopeful seeds have the most resonance, that the dreamers that are still left here are the ones really helping to create a sea of energy that people can continue to group with, become attracted to, be inspired and infused with new energy by. So I want to start off with thanking everybody for how much love and hope, perseverance, and strength we are all showing in this time. It is challenging for everyone across the board. And I just want to give a shout out to all of the lovers and the dreamers and the activists and the people here on this planet right now who are really keeping it going. So thank you for the beautiful introduction. Raheen Fatima has been with us since 2019, I think. Is that right, Raheen? 2019?
2020. Yeah.
2020? Ooh, okay. The day the stuff hit the fan. All right, I got you. So Raheen's fabulous. She and a few of our major youth leaders from International Children's Month, they've been working double time, day and night. Raheen's in Pakistan. You know, she's got to have meetings in the middle of the night, and she's taking care of an area of the youth that I'm sorry to say has been dropped because of Instagram, TikTok, the addictive qualities of what's happening with our youth and our children. And dopamine detoxes are the new word of the day, which means we actually need to be doing things with dopamine detox is detoxing from television and video games and all these types of things. And we are raising a culture right now of potential addicts as children. And so the thing I want to get across to everybody this program is we need to start dopamine detoxing the youth from the TVs and the computers and the cell phones and get them actually outside, meeting people in community centers, taking them to the meetings. They care about what happens to them, but unless we expose them to the solution, they don't know what to do. So as parents, as community members, my call right this minute is taking the children from in front of the TV and, you know, a day off here and there to the different meetings that are happening with the councils and, you know, wherever as high up as you can get into a meeting to take them to, I highly suggest doing that. And so there is kind of how I'm going to preface this conversation. And I'm going to hand it over to Raheen because I'm really curious to find out what she's been up to for the last little while. It's been a minute since we've been able to check in. So Raheen, as a youth leader and activist who's actually doing the work, you know, what's happening?
Oh my God, there's a lot of things happening. There's the world's changing rapidly with all AI and technology. And I think I'm really surprised to see how the youth's been responding to it because I know people that are responding to it really well and they want to be part of this revolution and some people are scared. And the world's changing so fast that even for people like me that are so involved in their communities, it's hard for me to process everything. So I agree with Heidi on the dopamine detox because if you go online on TikTok, on Instagram, anywhere, you'll see so much of information going on and just like all around you that it takes a second to process all of that. And it makes me sad to see all these things that are happening around the world, how people are responding to it. So I think in order to keep in touch with the positive side of the world, you really do need to see it from a different lens rather than just social media. But I've been up to a couple of things. Recently, I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So I have been on a little bit of a break over the summer, but I am now involved in different projects. One in particular, it's with Cartoon Network, and it's all about promoting the awareness of climate change for younger children. Because when we talk about climate change, it's frightening. It is really frightening because I remember when I was taught about climate change, it was essentially the world's ending and you guys need to save it because, well, you know, we don't if you guys don't. So it's just that way of explaining wasn't the right way, even for me. And I think right now we need more content out there on different things that are happening so that we can explain to our younger generation that we have this, that you guys have our backs, and that we're in this together rather than just like scaring us like, hey, the world's ending. So yeah, there's a couple things that I'm working on, and it's been a real nice ride. I mean, I've been working with you guys a lot of time, and I still remember the first phone call that I had with Heidi. And I remember her just like explaining what our vision is, what our goal is. And the 4 years that I've been working with the world and with International Children's Month and all the organizations that have, supported us along this journey. I think I realized that with so many people, young people that join us from around the world, I do really see hope. And I do really see, and I'm so glad that I did join this. Even if I had to be up like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Remember when we used to do those action days, which used to go from like 12 at night all the way till 8 in the morning, and I was just like really, and I was so excited and so enthusiastic because it really mattered to me, and it just kept me going. And I think that was the hard work that I put in that I'm really proud of today because I see it materialize into something bigger.
Thank you for doing that. I know you help keep everybody inspired. I think that's the thing, right? It's like when people actually care about something and they put their energy in, it inspires everybody. And then as we get inspired, we can continue to do the things. If we're not inspired, what do? You just lay around in your bed or you eat too much food or whatever's going on, right? So I really appreciate that very much. So, barreling into where we're going and what's happening here, we've got 11 days of global unity coming up. Everybody is saying that now is the time. It's literally the time right now. Like, I am not even going to sugarcoat it anymore for anyone. If we wait for the leaders and whoever they are, whatever they're called, whoever those people are that are trying to tell us how we should do things, if we wait till 2030, I don't know about how that's really going to go. I think that it's really like the next like couple of months, to be quite honest. The next like I'd say before Christmas, if we don't all start getting out into our communities and going to those meetings and telling these people, hey, look, we don't have time to wait for all of this stuff. And whatever your dumb agendas are, like, we all know exactly how to take care of things. If we are in our home and the water's cut off and there's no power, we know how it feels. So just imagine that on a much level, and we don't want that to happen to anybody. So that's like the nutshell version, right? You want the power and the water to continue to flow to your home. Get out into your local Senate, your local government buildings, your local community meetings that they're having for your townships, and tell them what you need. You need to have clean water. You need to be able to afford your standard of living. The prices for everything have gone up, and they're going to keep going up until whoever it is in the world who figures out how all that stuff happens get a clue. I'm sorry, have they been to the grocery store? We have had 11 weeks of 115 degrees in Texas, no rain, nothing. Okay, and so I'm a water worker, and for us to have this type of thing go on it's insane. Like, it is so hot. And there's an earth hug happening at the end of September. The person who usually puts on the earth hug is sick. And so the call to action right now is, please go out into your buildings, go out into your communities, write the letters, rattle the cages, shake the phones, whatever you got to do. Take a minute, even if it's like 5 minutes a day, figure out who you need to talk to next, or 15 minutes every Wednesday. Figure out what you got to do next and just start to make, there's 8 billion of us on this planet. 8 billion of us, okay? And we can totally turn this ship around, but it takes that force, like that emergency, that emergent energy. That's why when you're in emergency, it works. You can get stuff done. You can lift cars like you couldn't without the adrenaline. In an emergency situation, when you're working from that energy, you can move things. Things move because you're so powerful on that life and death edge. And I'll tell you what, you'll never feel more alive in your life. You'll never be more proud of yourself than if you get up and do something right now to help. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. That's what we're doing. And they don't know. The children don't know. I'm in an 8th grade classroom right now with 150 students every day, 1,500 students walking the hallways. They don't have a stinking clue. All they know is what they see on TikTok. And on TikTok, you don't know what exactly they're talking about because there's 50,000 streams of stories every second going by. So we have to help them get where they need to go, know how to say what they need to say, be confident enough to go in there and do it. And I mean, they're the future generation. We cannot continue to rob them by not doing anything. Raheen? What what's going on now? What do we do moving forward? This is it, right? This is the emergent energy. What do you want to put into the emergent energy? What are you going to do? What do you want to say?
All I want to say to all the people that are watching, old or young, just spread the word, spread the awareness. Because honestly, I agree with everything that Heidi said. You see so much information about so many different things. And honestly, our generation, me being like a teenager, we're confused. We're confused to see, what the truth is. We don't know what it is. We're confused. And so I think we need guidance right now. And we just need hope that everything is going to be all right, that we have, other people on our side. Because so many people, even young people paint older people, like, hey, there's so many agendas, there's so many things going on. We just need a little bit of hope in the world and in humanity right now. So just give us that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So it sounds like you're jumping right to the big question that we're going to save at the end of this discussion, the call to action. It's because both of you are living the call to action, right? I mean, this is what your lives are about. And the question I have about young people is, are we seeing enough of young people in the public bringing, taking that leadership role, or those leadership roles that will encourage the adults to follow, and it would make it so that the writing is on the wall for the adults who are controlling some of the, for example, fossil fuel resources and that kind of thing. At some point, the world will have to wake up to move away from fossil fuels so that we can have a sustainable world. But I don't see the adults who are controlling those things responding in the way that it seems like we think would be the best for us to have a sustainable planet by 2030, right? So are we seeing enough of the youth leaders to bring those people to follow the youth in order to make these changes that we're talking about?
Well, let me ask, why do we need those people to tell us what to do? Right? How many of us here are adults and grown-ups who have children? All of us, right? Like, I'm sorry, but I don't believe anything they say. Everybody knows who they is. I'm not going to slander anybody on here. I'm just going to get to the heart of the matter. We all know that they aren't doing anything, that it's all about corporations and money. It's about buying things out from underneath the people and making bad deals in the nighttime while we're sleeping, and we have no idea what they're doing. Why are they in power in the first place? And so the thing is a long time ago, they screwed that all up. Okay. Like they used to live in a building that was a circle and they all slept together. We knew where they were, what they were doing, and we told them what to do to help us when we needed help. That was the beginning of their legislature. That was the beginning of those governments. And now what? So I'm proposing that we get our children, we get our friends, we get our families together, and we go and tell them what is going to happen. Right. And I mean, how do you stop? Here's the thing. How do you stop like huge cattle farms that are fuming up the ozone layer? Right. Like, do you guys remember when they said, oh, there's a hole in the ozone in Australia? Do you remember? But no one ever talked about it again. Okay. And so, like, of course, that thing is getting thinner and thinner, and the sun is getting hotter and hotter. I mean, it's science, right? Like, we don't even need anybody to tell us this. We learned it in elementary school. When the children stood up in 2019, they did an outstanding job. They all went for it. And then what happened? Nothing. What happens to a child when they really, really, really have a dream and then nobody helps them get that dream? They either do two things. They turn to drugs, or they work really, really hard. Well, or they just kind of give up on the thing. Okay, so there's like three ways people go about things when they really, really want something and they know how important it is. They either keep going no matter what, or they find something else to do that's easier. Okay, and so here we are. It's 2023. That was almost 5 years ago, right? That was 5 years ago. 5 years. Let's help them. Right? Let's help them. Raheen, what do you think happened? What do you think's going on?
I definitely see a lot of young people that are, they are in leadership roles, people that are emerging. But just like you said, and so did Rick earlier, it really doesn't, come down, all of it doesn't just come down on, well, are there young people standing up? There are, but we need people that are in power, older people that are in power responding to all of that, because we don't have any of that.
Instead of making you look like, oh, they're just children, right? It's like, oh, whatever, they're just children. Oh, she's just saying childish things. It's like, she's saying stuff grown men don't have the nerve to say. Don't talk to me about that. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
What do you
So
think?
I feel like we only can start seeing the change that is being made by the younger people when, the older ones start responding to it, when they start acknowledging it, and when they start seeing us as equal individuals rather than just kids that are just trying to get away with some fun, that are just, try to be rebellious. That's not what this is. We are actually concerned because we are the generation that this is going to affect us. And it's starting to, like Heidi, you mentioned the temperature before, right? Like how it's been in Texas. Pakistan, our emissions are very low, but because of our geographic location, we are one of the top 10 affected countries. And we see it in the weather. Weather used to be way different when I was younger, and it's way different now. But big corporations that are just making money off of it, they don't care. They have the money, they have the resources for themselves to be comfortable.
Right, exactly. They just want their big houses, their fancy planes, and to be able to buy whatever they want. So your dad backs you up.
Exactly.
Right? I've met your dad. He backs you up. He makes sure that you get out there. He tried to help you with every way he could. He was helping with your social media to make sure there was no creeps in there. And he was like responding to things when you couldn't get to them. Your dad backs you up. Am I correct?
Yes, he does.
Right. So that's what we can do for our children. They don't know what to do. It's our job to figure out what needs to happen. And then we help our children get involved. Okay? Because they are feeling completely wasted. I hear it all day long, every day. They think they're in prison in school. They don't see the point to learning anything. Even my own grade 2 is like, no, this is stupid. Like, what am I even doing in here? I have things to do. but they don't know what they have to do. This is what they have to do. You cannot stop the energy from reaching the children. That's why we're having a mental health crisis. That's why everything is going on, because it's getting to the point where it's so uncomfortable for people energetically. They know they need to do something, but they don't know what they need to do. We can organize in a very safe and effective fashion. We don't have to go out and hurt things or scream at people or any of that nonsense. We can literally put together plans of action, take them and not present them. Say, I have 500 people behind me, and this is what we're going to do in this community. And you can't stop us. Period.
All right.
Period.
All right. Thank you. And
you gave me the opportunity to talk. I'm talking.
yeah. And Jana, do you want to add some kind of call to action yourself? And of course, react to anything that anybody has said.
Thank you, Rick. First of all, I want to apologize for my little fur baby. He let out a bark of energy because he's excited about this conversation too.
Yeah.
And Raheen, I'm sorry.
We welcome all the non-human participants.
Exactly.
Of course, they want us to do this. For sure they do.
That's right.
Gosh.
And Raheen, I'm sorry I mispronounced your last name is Fatima. So I'm sorry. Anyway, yes, as a mother, as a activist my whole life, I really agree that it starts at home, and having supportive parents behind you and raising, raising with awareness and mindfulness and consciousness is really important. And also being hopeful. It starts with one, and if we could all feel like, even if it seems like it's too little and not enough, it starts with one thing that you can do, and that's easy, and it's easy to inspire in the classroom, and because I know, having been a teacher, that a lot of kids go home and say, this is what we can do, and it inspires the parents and the family as a whole to make a change. And so I think that's what it's all about. It's about being hopeful and positive. It's easy to feel gloom and doom and like hopeless, and how can we do anything in the face of what seems like overwhelming negativity and all that. So to me, it's talking about your mental health and all that. Always being able to see what you can do when it seems like there's nothing you can do, but there is something you can do. So I thank you, Heidi, for all the work that you do, and Raheen. It's inspiring and it's important. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thanks, Jana.
So any last thoughts, and then we'll wind it up. Heidi?
Make it fun. Go ahead. Make it fun, because the children aren't going to want to do it if it isn't fun. And it is fun to explore and to go on an escapade of how do we save everything. And they're going to be like, yeah, man, let's do it. And just, I think the key here is let's stop waiting for permission from people who don't have any right to give us permission for the things that are basic human rights. We don't need their permission. We just need an action plan. That's it. And you are smart enough to be able to formulate one yourself. I promise you, you are. If it comes down to keeping your lights and food in your fridge and your water, you're smart enough to figure out an action plan. Whatever that is for your home, it's the same thing that your community needs. It's the same thing your state needs. It's the same thing your country needs. And it's the same thing the world needs. Am I right, Raheen?
Yes, you are. I totally agree with you.
Yay. And don't forget the Earth Hug the end of this month. I'll go ahead and design something and get it up wherever we can, and I'll share it with Raheen.
And any last thoughts, Raheen?
No, all I just want to say to everyone that's watching, I hope that, you guys respond to all the things that have been said in this program because this is the time more than ever. And I'm really excited to see real change. Like, I've seen the past 4 years. I hope the next time that we get together, we have new things to discuss, definitely new solutions to the challenges that we emerge. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to point out is that this panel is going to be broadcast. This is the times are at 12 noon USA Eastern time on September 16th, and also 7 p.m. Eastern time on September 16th. And those two time slots are going to be in all of the panels that we're doing for 11 days of global unity. And so I think this has been really inspiring. And thank you all for being part of the 11 Days of Global Unity Summit. Jana?
Thank you, Rick, and thank you, Heidi Little and Raheen Fatima. And thank you all for watching this and for being a part of the 11 Days of Global Unity. Go to we.net to get involved, and don't forget to stick around for the panel discussion right after this.
Okay, thank you, Jana. And, it's all about we, right? So let's go from a me society to a we society. That's why we launched we.net. So together we can create a world that works for all. Much love to you all and to everyone watching this. Thank you.